Yeah, it was last Thursday. I think it was last Thursday or the Thursday before that. Was my first day officially off the tools. Like sat in the truck, I watched a couple of videos, I made some calls, and like worked on my business instead of worked in it. And the whole time I had three guys in there working, making money for themselves. Everything's happy and good, and it's great. I had flip flops on at work for my first time in 8 years.
What's up, everybody? Mike Hickman here, founder of PainterGrowth.com, and you're listening to the Painter Growth Podcast. Now, in this Painter Growth story episode, I sit down with a new client of ours, Mr. Casey Cole, based out of Ontario, and his journey with us has only been a month. He's been with us for 1 month and 2 days, as you're going to soon find out, and his results so far have been nothing short of incredible. So he has been a painter for several years already, almost a decade, and he's never been able to get off the tools, never been able to grow past a certain point. And within 1 month, he's been able to scale up his production, land a ton of sales, and get off the tools for the first time ever in like 8 years. So it's pretty incredible what Casey's been able to do with our help. Of course, we cannot take all the credit. He's the one that's doing the hard work. We're just, leading the horse to water. We're telling him how to fish, and then he's going out and he's doing it. So please buckle up, enjoy the episode. Before we jump into the entire story, Casey and I chat for about 4 or 5 minutes about some random other stuff. And I thought I would include that this time instead of cutting it out. So if you enjoy our little chat, then great. But if you want to skip our little chat and get right into his story, skip to about 4 or 5 minutes. And with that being said, buckle up and let's get into it. Are you going to come to or thinking about coming to the mastermind?
I'd love to. It's a little too early for me. I'm just trying to build a business, man. I can't just leave.
Well,
But
you
yeah,
can. That's what it's about. We're building the business and not a holiday.
yeah, I know. I think for next year for sure that I will come. I do think so. I just feel like, again, this is all new for me, and this is my baby, and like learning how
Decide in
to let
August or
go.
September. You got time to decide.
Yeah, but there was like a half price ticket and everything, and I got to fly to Arizona. It's a bit of a price for me at
Yeah,
this stage. I want to take that money and put it into my business right now for real.
this is putting it in your business.
I
But
know that's the changing the mindset. That's the worker in me.
yeah, I mean, the way that
Not
you
the
want to think
business
about
owner.
it, and I'm not trying to sell you on the mastermind right now. You can make your own mind up, but it's like if you can learn like one insight out of there, just like shifts your trajectory like 10%, it'll
Yeah.
like pay for itself so many times over.
It's true. And like I'm very much have been self-employed and I've thought that I've owned my own business. And listening to you, I forget the exact numbers you talked about, but hey, if you took a job, posted a job ad and it took 20 hours and the guy makes $100,000, you're making like $5,000 an hour or some
Yeah.
shit. I was just like, what the hell? Do you want to make $50 an hour or do you want to make five? I'm like, I want to make five. And I know it's long term, but you got to think like that, right? Quick question too. So as soon as I'm getting my crew up and running to 100% and I'm getting off the tools, I have to take a pay cut, correct? Like I'd have to at first, at least.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on like how well you know your numbers, how many painters you have, what their charge rate is, what the magic number is gross margin per hour. So, or contribution margin per hour is a technical term, but in the job costing spreadsheet, right towards like the very last column, there's a column called a CM/HR, and that's contribution margin per hour. And essentially what that means is how much like gross profit is each painter making you per hour after you pay for paint and labor.
That's on the planner too.
That's on it's in the main spreadsheet. So right at the end, it's like I'll just pull it up real quick.
Sure.
Because this is an important number. So if you go to the job costing and you go all the way to the end, we have CM/HR.
Okay.
And what this means is how much per hour each painter is making you. How much you made for each labor hour on that job.
Right.
So if this
Okay.
job was a $5,500 job, we paid out 65 hours. So we paid $500 of paint, which was 9%. We paid $2,100 of labor, which was 38%. That means we had a contribution margin of $28.75, so like a gross profit of $28.75, and then a contribution margin per hour of $44.23. So that means if you had two painters working for you on that job, that crew was making you $88 per hour of gross margin.
Per person.
No, total. Per
Total.
hour. So
Okay.
two guys, $88 an hour, three guys, 100 and whatever. So in order to like really decide how much money you can take from the business as a salary, you need to know your job costing to see how much profit, how much gross margin your business is actually bringing in, and then how much overhead you have. And then if you take your like gross profit minus your overhead, then that is your net profit.
Okay. I'll be honest, this stuff goes right over my head. Never worked with a spreadsheet in my life until I got in your program. And I'm
Okay.
literally paying a friend of mine who builds these pages out for a living to
Yeah.
teach me how to use them. So I'm
Okay.
paying somebody to show me how to do this. So we've gone through the planner. I've got it loaded up now, and then that sheet we're just starting to go through. But we did it for like 3 hours, and then I just like it wasn't going in. So
Sure.
it's just gonna come back. We're gonna
You'll get
continue
it.
to work on it out. Yeah.
I mean, the concept as simple as possible is like if you're working by yourself, you make say $50 an hour,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And if you have two painters working for you, they can make you $25 an hour each. So two
Right.
painters will basically replace your salary and you won't have to take a pay cut if you can keep them productive.
Say that one more time. How do you do that?
So if you're making $50 an hour
By myself.
by yourself,
Make $400
right?
for the day.
Yep. And then you have two painters and you got to pay them $25 an hour each.
Right.
So they're making you $25 an hour each profit.
Okay.
So both those painters working together will be making you 50 an hour.
Right.
And
And
now
I'm
you get
paying out 50.
and you're
I'm
paying
paying
out 25
each.
Yeah. So you'll replace your salary with two full-time painters.
Okay.
It's late. We can do this another
Yeah,
time.
but it's also simple too. It's just like, yeah, okay. It's
Yeah,
late.
but
We can do this another
then you
time.
have three painters, now you're making 75. You have four painters, now you're making 100 an hour. Right?
Right.
You have eight painters, now you're making 200 an hour.
Right.
It's just like it just keeps going. That's the beauty of business. There's no limit.
Yeah.
Like I have a friend in Detroit. He has 60 W2s.
60 painters.
Yeah,
Wow.
in one location.
No way.
Yeah, in Detroit.
How does he just manage it all? He just gets people to do it.
He
Just
doesn't. He doesn't even have a job actually. His name's John McFarlane. We did a podcast with him a few months ago. You should check it out. But yeah, he
wow.
doesn't even have a role. He's
Yeah.
got general manager, he's got production manager, he's got salespeople, he's got marketing people, and he just like walks around the office and says hi to people.
That's insane. That's
Yeah.
amazing. I'll let you know too, man. Like 8 years ago when I started, like I put it in there. I started on my bicycle. I had no idea what I was doing, and I stumbled across you on YouTube back then, and you were giving away some free nuggets. And I took what you taught back then and applied it, and got to myself to here. That's kind of where I am because of what you were giving away for free back then. So I'm glad that you put it all together and put it in a little package that we could just jump in here and do it. It's pretty awesome, man. Congratulations to you too. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it. I'm happy and able to make an impact and help people. It's like people ask me why I don't paint anymore. It's like, oh, if you're so good at running a painting business, how come you aren't running a painting business?
I've heard that. I even thought that. Not why were you
Yeah.
painting, but if it's so profitable, well, because
Yeah.
you learned the whole thing and now you're training other people to do it. So
Yeah, it's like it's impact, man. Like you can't. At least I wasn't able to change lives the way I'm changing lives now, just through paint.
right.
Like I'm helping, everyday people lift themselves out of like tough economic situations every single day. And
Yeah,
it's super fulfilling.
it is. I bet. Cool.
Yeah. Well, let's
like that.
jump into it. Why don't you
right.
introduce yourself?
Okay. My name is Casey Cole. I'm from a small town, Orangeville, Ontario, about an hour north of Toronto. I started a small business by myself on my bicycle. Call it Color Your Life Paint and Design. And I graduated from a crappy van to another crappy van to a nicer truck, and I couldn't get off the tools. And so I was thinking about it a lot. I took some of Mike's advice in the beginning, and decided after 8 years of seeing some of the videos and seeing some of the testimonials and stuff like that on Instagram that I had to take a shot. Called out and started talking to a guy named Duncan, and the rest is history.
Cool. Well, we'll definitely dive into that. Now, before you had even heard about us, like say a year ago or 2 years ago or whatever, like what was your business like then?
I mean, it probably average around like $5,000 jobs. We probably get like three of those. We probably average like maybe 15 to 20, and then the winter would slow down and you end up doing just like $3,000 or $4,000 even in a month. And probably my biggest months was like 30 grand. But nothing crazy. I did have a couple more employees before COVID, And so it's just a roller coaster, to be honest with you. I think I'm good. I think good. It's going to work. It's not going to work. It's going to work. It's not going to work. And so
Hmm.
just kind of unstable and working myself to the bone, really.
Yeah. And you were painting full time?
Oh, yeah. I've been painting full time for 8 years. Yeah.
Yeah. How did you feel about your business at that time? Like, did you know there was a better way, or just like what were your general feelings around that time?
Um, yeah, I didn't really see the possibilities. Like coming from working making $100 an hour, working for some other painter, to opening up my own business and just making 150 or $200 was amazing for me. And then, making $300 a day, working my tail off, helped me to get better, financially situated and that kind of thing. And then I just kept hearing those videos actually that some of the things you say just on those little videos on Instagram really made me start to open my eyes up. Like, yeah, there's definitely a better
Yeah.
way here. I knew other people were doing it, and I knew I could do it. I felt like I was gonna break through, but I didn't know how.
What was the like moment in time? What the inciting event that made you realize that was like enough was enough, something had to change?
Actually, I had the sales rep from Sherwin-Williams. They just came into this town like a year ago. I've been working with Benjamin Moore Paint for the last 8 years, and they just took a shine to me. They wanted me to get them out of my business, and he pulled me aside one day and he's like, "Listen, like I've talked to a lot of contractors here in the area, and I just think that you're really set up to do some good with this business. I think that you can make it big." And he asked me about my numbers, and I didn't know. I had no idea. And he's like, "Yeah, I know a guy. I can. It's like $1,000 a month. He can set you up and be like your coach." And I was like, well, maybe that's something I could do. And then I walked away, and it just kind of got in my head, like, I need a coach. I need a coach. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know my numbers. And then again, I seen your videos, and I don't know. I seen you before, like 8 years ago on YouTube, and I was just like, you know what? I think I'm gonna give this guy a shot. And so
Yeah.
I reached out. Yeah,
Cool. So you followed us on Instagram, you tried out some of the free things,
yeah,
and you had a call with Duncan.
yeah.
What happened on that call?
It was like one salesman to another, trying to sell me at first. And I was like, I don't want to be sold. I don't even know. I need more time. And he was patient, and then like eventually he brought another guy in too, and that might sound like, oh no, they're giving me hard sales, but like he just nailed it out to me. Actually, just when you hear, like, again, I'm a good salesman. I'm not selling bullshit. I'm selling good product. And then once they see it and they pay for it, they're like, oh my god, I'm so glad I went with you. And so I just started listening, and I'm like, you know what, it makes so much sense and it's worth the investment. And it was like, put in like 3 or 4 hours after work at first, and you can eventually get yourself off the tools and put your heart into working on the business instead of working in the business. When I heard that, work on the business, not work in it, I was like, okay, this is what I need. This is what I want to do. Sign me up.
How did you justify the investment when you maybe like didn't have a ton of capital in the business?
I really felt like it was a no-brainer. I felt like I'm just going to take it. I had a little bit in savings. I put a little bit on a credit card. I actually paid for even more than the 3 month. I paid a little extra to go for the 4 months because I just thought it would be worth it. And I just said, that's it. Like, whatever. If I'm not going to go on a vacation this winter or whatever, I don't care. It's a 30-day money back guarantee. All these things. I'm like, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to either prove him right or whatever. I'm going to do it. And
Yeah.
I don't want my money back. I want to succeed. So yeah.
Yeah, that's the best attitude for people to have, right? You don't want to have to fall back on a
No,
guarantee.
no, I wouldn't even take it. It'd be
Yeah.
my own fault if I didn't make it succeed at this point.
So it's end of June right now, 2024.
Yeah,
How long ago did you join?
I think like 3 weeks ago,
Should I
something like
check?
that. Yeah, it hasn't been a month, I don't think. I think it was like the end of May, but yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, May 24th, a month and 2 days.
Okay, there you go, a
Okay.
month ago. Yeah.
So, what happened in your first month?
Well, I started off with me, a full-time painter and a part-time painter. Um, just in the last, well, so in the last month, I have 4 painters now and a part-time paint and 2 part-time painters. I have 2 sales reps. I bought a new van. It's not a great van. It's just something that's going to get us down the road, but I'm going to get it lettered up, and I'm working towards getting my first crew 100% independent without me. I've learned about a lot of things. I've learned about marketing, and I've been overwhelmed quite a bit, and it's been really exciting. And I've noticed my prices were low. I've raised my prices in a market where everybody else is lowering theirs. I'm like kind of fighting for jobs. I'm raising mine, and That's good. I don't even know. I'm kind of blown away and a little overwhelmed just by how fast things are happening. It's pretty good, man.
So I know sales wasn't like your goal coming in because you had work booked out, but like how much have you booked in the last 30 days since joining?
Last 30 days, I'd say, trying to do the math, I should have it written down, but I would probably say 40 grand, 40 grand with a workbook.
That's not too bad. First
Yeah.
month, just
Yeah.
learning.
I booked a $12,000 job today actually. And then another one last week and a 4,000. Yeah, there's some jobs. Yeah, 35 or 40 grand.
So one of the biggest challenges that you said was like getting off the tools and kind of creating systems and not having to do everything in the business.
Yeah.
What have you changed around that? And why do you feel like you're all of a sudden able to bring on painters and delegate work?
Good question. I mean, just getting the actual facts in front of you with some of the information that you provide, like the spreadsheets, and actually just seeing your numbers and your margins and just realizing like what's going on. Like I just had a glorified salary. I felt like I was a self-employed person and who had help before, and now I'm starting to feel like a business owner. Last Thursday, or maybe time's flying fast. Maybe it wasn't. Yeah, it was last Thursday. I think it was last Thursday or the Thursday before that. Was my first day officially off the tools. Like sat in the truck, I watched a couple of videos, I made some calls, and like worked on my business instead of worked in it. And the whole time, I had three guys in there working, making money for themselves. Everything's happy and good, and it's great. I had flip flops on at work for my first time in 8 years.
How'd that feel being off the tools for the first time?
It was amazing. It was really good. It was really good. The client gave me a beer and I sat there and chilled with her for a little bit in the back in the shade. It was pretty nice.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
And on going from there, how do you feel about the future of your business now?
It's crazy. Like, I don't know. It's crazy. Um, I don't want to say times because maybe it sounds crazy, but if I could just let go of the limits and just tell you how I really felt, I think I'll own a multi-million dollar company in the next like 2 to 5 years. Maybe it takes me longer, but like even if it took me 10 years, it's a multi-million dollar company in the next 5 to 10 years. And that's just $1 million a year. Like it's not even that far out of my grasp. Like I can do this. Like I really feel it's gonna happen. Like I'll be doing 500 in the next year for sure. 2025, $500,000 for sure.
Yeah. And for context, what did you do last year?
Sorry, say that again.
For context, what was your revenue last year?
I think it was like just over 300.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that 500 is going to be in the bag, man.
Yeah, for sure. I think so too, man.
Yeah, one of the things that you learn quickly is like these beliefs, right? These beliefs are holding you down.
That's all what it is. The mindset, just shifting the mindset. Yeah.
Yeah,
Really.
soon you'll see that like $1 million business is like 8 or 9 painters. I'm like,
That's
that's not that
crazy.
many painters.
No, I'm already halfway there. I got 4.5.
Yeah. So, what would you say to like other painters who are in your situation right now, staring down the gun of like a 5K investment? They're scared. They don't want to spend the money. They'd rather have it in their credit card or in their savings account or whatever. Like, what would you say to someone in that situation who's just feeling scared about the investment?
And they're just scrolling through and seeing this video right now. Stop watching this video and click the button and sign up. It's worth the investment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if they're scared, what would you say?
I'm scared too. False evidence appearing real. Fear knocked on the door. Faith answered it. There's nobody there. Let's get out there and do it.
Yeah. Love it, man. Well, dude, you're inspirational. I know this is an early interview. We don't usually do them like after a month, but you've been sharing so many wins that I felt like I had to jump on it. And I'm sure we're going to do a follow-up in a couple of months too.
That's going to be good. And honestly, I'm honored. I really appreciate it. Like, it just kind of gave me an extra boost. I'm less scared now because Mike wants to interview me.
Well, I'm humbled. And thanks for putting your trust in us, man. We appreciate you. And dude, $1 million business.
Yeah.
In the bag.
Thanks, man. And the support too. There's so much support. The coaches, like every other day, I'm like, hey, we're here for you. Like I get it, the text messages, the calls are amazing. I love it. It's just what I needed. It's great. It doesn't really feel like work. Maybe a homework a little bit, but
yeah,
I'm a good student and I like the results. So I'm here.
And we're trying to make business fun.
It is fun. It is fun. I love your talks on Friday. The coffee talks. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's good.
Awesome. Appreciate that. And we're even trying to make business even more fun. We're working on like a app to replace a bunch of the spreadsheets. and like trying to gamify it a bit more.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like coming next. Give us a few more months on that. So
Yeah, an app would be great. That would be awesome.
get like a notification. You need to update your metrics today, and then you get like a little gold star.
Yeah, that'd be great, like Duolingo, but only for making money.
Dude, that was my that's my inspiration on my cover page. I have Duo right there.
Yes, yes. Where's
Yeah.
my cover page?
People listening to this are like, what are they doing?
What are we doing?
So the
I don't see.
gamification is just so gamification in business just makes it so much more fun and accessible, and then get out of some of those spreadsheets.
All right. It's a quote from your thing here. I did it this way.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
that's
mine.
sick.
Yeah, man. Never give up. Stay
Show it again.
focused in your
Show it one more
goals.
time.
Stay focused in your goals and never give up.
There we go. I just took a screenshot of that. Love it.
Yeah, man.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you so much, Casey. Appreciate you, dude. And we'll see you on Friday on the office hours.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. Have a good night.
Thanks for listening to the Painter Growth Podcast. If you want to grow your painting business, go to www.paintergrowth.com or click on the top link in the description. Talk soon.